I know exactly where you are right now. You're lying there in the dark, but it feels like the lights in your head are still at full brightness. You might be replaying a conversation from 3 o'clock this afternoon, or maybe you're already trying to solve a problem that hasn't even happened yet. For those of us with this specific wiring, that late diagnosis mix of ADHD and autism, the quiet of the night isn't always peaceful. Sometimes the quiet is when the noise gets the loudest. I want to tell you something right now that you probably haven't heard today. It's okay. You aren't doing sleep wrong. You don't have a broken brain. You have a high-performance engine that's been running at redline for 16 hours, and it doesn't have a simple off switch. It has a cooling down phase, and that's what we're doing here. Tonight is going to be a bit different. We're going to find a sacred balance between guidance and silence. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes to help you land, and then I'm going to step back. I'll leave you with some theta waves, frequencies designed to help your brain waves slow down and sync up for rest. Then, after a while, I'll come back to check on you, give you a little more guidance, and we'll fade back into the music again. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to try to stay awake for my voice, and you don't have to try to fall asleep. Just let the sound happen. For the last 40 plus years, you've probably been a master of the mask. You've learned how to translate your thoughts for a neurotypical world. You've been the provider, the fixer, the one who carries the weight. But right here, right now, that job is over. I want you to pull your energy out of your head, out of those 100 open tabs, and move it down into your frame. Don't worry about drifting or floating. For us, we need to feel grounded. Feel the literal heavy weight of your body against the mattress. Notice the specific pressure on your heels, your calves, the back of your thighs. If you have a heavy blanket, feel the way it presses against your chest. That pressure is a signal. It's a physical message to your nervous system telling it, you are safe, you are contained. There is no threat to scan for anymore. Take a breath, not a perfect yoga breath, just a deep, raw one. Feel your ribs expand against the bed. Hold it for just a second, and let it fall out of you. You aren't trying to relax. You are simply allowing gravity to do its job. You've been holding yourself together all day. Let the bed hold you for a while. In a moment, I'm going to step away. The theta frequencies will take over. These waves are like a bridge. They're going to help carry your mind from the busy ADHD state toward the deep, restorative rest your body is asking for. If the thoughts come back while the music plays, let them. Don't fight them. Just acknowledge them like background noise and come back to the weight of your body. I'll be back in a little while to help you unmask and let go of the day. For now, just exist. You've done enough. Permission to land granted. For a man who has reached his fourth or fifth decade, masking is often a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. You may have spent a lifetime wearing a suit of armor that you didn't even know was there. In the world of neurodivergence, we call this masking. It is the practice of suppressing your natural instincts, your movements, and your reactions to fit into a world that wasn't necessarily built for your brain. Think back to the meetings, the social gatherings, and even the quiet moments at home where you felt the need to perform. You learned early on that your natural way of being, your intensity, your need for order, or your occasional withdrawal, was often met with confusion or judgment. So you adapted. You learned to read the room with hypervigilance. You learned which facial expressions were expected of you and which jokes to laugh at, even if you didn't quite feel the connection. This performance is what leads to the profound, bone-deep exhaustion that many AuDHD men experience. It is a cognitive tax that you pay every single second you are in the presence of others. Imagine a computer running dozens of heavy programs in the background. They are invisible to the user, but they are draining the battery until the system suddenly shuts down. That is the reality of the mask. When you have ADHD, your mind is naturally reaching for stimulation and variety, but the mask forces you to stay still and appear focused. When you are autistic, your senses may be overwhelmed by the brightness of the lights or the hum of the air conditioner, but the mask tells you to sit silently and pretend nothing is wrong. This constant friction between your internal reality and your external performance is the primary source of burnout. As you lie here tonight, I want you to realize that you are finally in a space where the performance can end. You do not need to be the husband, the father, the employee, or the provider in this moment. You are allowed to simply be a human being with a unique neurological makeup. Letting the mask slip is not about becoming a different person. It is about uncovering the person who has been buried under that armor for 40 years. It is about learning that your sensitivity is actually a deep form of perception, and your need for routine is a valid way of protecting your energy. As the theta waves begin to pulse around you, let the edges of that mask begin to soften. You are safe to let go of the weight. You are safe to breathe. You are safe to exist exactly as you are. The way your brain processes the world around you is a study in contrasts. For a man living with the dual architecture of autism and ADHD, sensory processing is rarely a simple experience. It is a landscape of profound contradictions that can leave you feeling confused or exhausted by the end of a normal day. To understand this, we must look at the two distinct ways your nervous system interacts with its environment. On one hand, your ADHD side is often a sensory seeker. It thrives on high-intensity input, novelty, and dopamine. This is the part of you that might enjoy the adrenaline of a fast-moving project, the complexity of a loud environment, or the thrill of new experiences. It needs stimulation to stay online and to keep the fog of boredom at bay. Without enough input, the ADHD brain can feel heavy, understimulated, and restless. Yet, living right alongside that seeker is your autistic side, which often functions as a highly sensitive instrument. This part of your brain may be intensely aware of specific, subtle, or unpredictable sensory inputs that others do not even notice. It might be the repetitive clicking of a pen, the particular frequency of an LED light, the smell of a certain cleaning product, or the way a specific shirt collar feels against your neck. These inputs are not just annoying to your nervous system, they can feel like a direct physical assault on your peace. This creates the unique sensory paradox. You may find yourself seeking out a high-stimulus environment to feed your ADHD curiosity, only to find that once you arrive, your autistic side becomes instantly overwhelmed and needs to retreat into total silence and darkness. This internal conflict is one of the primary reasons for the deep, bone-deep fatigue many men feel. You have spent decades trying to balance these two opposing needs without having a map to guide you. But there is a place where these two forces stop fighting and begin to work in harmony. This is the state of flow. For someone with this dual diagnosis, a flow state is a powerful psychological experience. It happens when the ADHD curiosity and the autistic capacity for deep, systemized focus land on the exact same target. When you find a topic or a task that truly captures your interest, the ADHD side provides the creative energy and the big picture vision, while the autistic side provides the endurance for deep, repetitive, and meticulous work. In this state, the sensory world finally falls into the background. You are no longer a seeker or an avoider. You are simply a creator, an explorer, or a builder. Time ceases to exist as a pressure. The external noise fades, and your internal world becomes a smooth, coordinated machine. This is your natural state of regulation. As you drift closer to sleep, consider the moments in your life when you have felt this alignment. Perhaps it was while working on a complex problem, engaging in a lifelong hobby, or getting lost in a piece of music. These moments are not accidents. They are the moments when your brain is operating exactly as it was designed to. You are learning that your sensitivity is not a weakness, but a high-definition way of experiencing life. You are learning that your need for stimulation is not a lack of discipline, but a drive for engagement. Allow yourself to rest in the knowledge that your mind has its own unique rhythm. You don't need to force it to be quiet. You just need to understand how it flows. Sleep now, knowing that your architecture is valid, your needs are real, and your peace is within reach. knowledge is a powerful tool, but for a man navigating a late diagnosis of autism and ADHD, understanding your brain is only half of the journey. The other half lives within your body. For decades, your nervous system has acted as a silent recorder, storing the stress of every masked conversation, every sensory overload, and every moment where you felt out of sync with the world. This is what we call the somatic experience of neurodivergence. Your body has been in a state of high alert for a very long time, preparing for a threat that wasn't physical, but social and psychological. As you lie here now, notice where that history is stored. It might be in the tightness of your jaw, the elevation of your shoulders, or a subtle restlessness in your legs. In our journey toward wellness, we often use tools like cognitive behavioral therapy to address the mind. CBT helps us look at the labels we've carried since childhood. Perhaps you grew up hearing that you were lazy because your ADHD made it hard to start tasks, or that you were aloof because your autistic side needed solitude. These labels aren't just thoughts, they become physical sensations of shame and tension. But tonight, in this relaxed state, we can begin to reframe those stories. When we combine cognitive understanding with somatic release, we start to tell the body that the war is over. You are not lazy. You are a person who has been running a marathon in a body that was never given a chance to rest. You are not aloof. You are a person with a sensitive and deep internal world. Somatic awareness is simply the act of coming home to your physical self without judgment. It is about recognizing that your nervous system is a finely tuned instrument that has been overstimulated for far too long. Imagine a wave of heavy, warm relaxation starting at the crown of your head and slowly moving down. As it passes your eyes, the tiny muscles relax. As it moves through your chest, your heart rate slows to a steady, rhythmic pace. Feel the surface beneath you. It is firm, it is stable, and it is fully supporting your weight. You do not have to hold yourself up anymore. You can let the floor or the bed do that work for you. This release is a form of neurodivergent regulation. By letting the tension leave your muscles, you are sending a signal to your brain that it is finally safe to turn off the high alert system. You are teaching your brain that it can exist in a state of peace, even with its unique architecture. As the music returns, let yourself sink deeper into this physical safety. You are safe. You are regulated. You are at rest. As the light of this exploration begins to dim, and the rhythm of your breath settles into its natural, effortless cycle, take a moment to acknowledge the courage it took to be here tonight. To look at one's life through a new lens, especially after decades of navigating the world without a map, is a profound act of self-compassion. You have spent this time uncurling the complexities of the AuDHD experience. You have recognized the paradox of the seeking mind and the sensitive soul. You have honored the weight of the mask you've carried, and you have started the gentle process of releasing that tension from your body. This knowledge is now a part of you. It is no longer something you have to search for. It is a foundation you can stand on. If you found that these words provided a sense of clarity or a feeling of being seen, I invite you to engage with this community when you are ready. In the space below this video, you will find links to further resources, tools, and deeper dives into the topics we've covered tonight. These are here to support your journey as you move from understanding into action. If you feel moved to do so, please leave a comment sharing your own experience, or simply let us know if this resonated with you. Your voice is a vital part of a larger conversation, one that reminds every man listening that he is not alone in this landscape. Every shared story, every word of support, strengthens the bridge for the next person searching for their own sense of peace. But for now, all of that can wait. The world outside is still. The demands of tomorrow are far off on the horizon. Your only task is to drift. As the last of the spoken words fade away, let the theta waves take the lead. They are here to guide you into the deeper, restorative stages of sleep, where your mind processes, heals, and integrates everything we have discussed. You are moving toward a rest that is deep and undisturbed. You are moving toward a version of yourself that is whole, valid, and exactly as you were meant to be. Every cell in your body is now invited to let go. Every thought is allowed to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. You are safe. You are at peace. You are home. Sleep now. Sleep well.